Hey, so 9 years later, we are finally back in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. What we're going to be doing is taking a look at the bonus game that is in the Subsistence version, which is the re-release of the game on PlayStation 2. This is the Snake versus Monkey missions. It's got a fun little codec in the beginning, so enjoy that.
This is Snake. I've made it to the sneaking point.
You're right on time, Snake.
After being dragged out of the sack at 2 in the morning, I did my best.
Rise and shine. Don't you love mornings?
Colonel, nobody loves being dragged away from their vacation.
I'm sorry, but we needed you. Something big is going down. Very big. That's why.
All right. So what is this important mission? I'll say it once, and only once. I am not taking out any Metal Gears.
Don't worry.
And no saving some VIP or old man.
It's nothing like that.
If it's like a hot damsel in distress, I'll think about it.
Well, it's not quite a hot damsel in distress, but it is a rescue mission.
Rescuing who?
Apes.
What?
Monkeys. But not just any monkeys.
You said monkeys?
Just listen. Your mission is to infiltrate the jungle and capture all of the monkeys.
Again. You said monkeys?
Yes, monkeys.
This isn't really my thing. If you want your monkeys, you better ask Spike or Jimmy.
Unfortunately, they weren't available.
What about me? I was on vacation.
Snake, we need you. If you don't do this, who will?
It's not like someone else couldn't handle a stealth mission.
Don't say that. This is the genre we turned over every leaf in.
Why don't you make Sam or Gabe do the job?
Snake.
Isn't this just some monkey catching action?
Snake, I'm asking you. It's a request from the professor himself.
The professor? Natalie's grandfather?
That's the one.
The one who came up with the monkey helmet?
Well, that was the professor's classmate.
His classmate?
From high school. Not only that, but the professor is a friend of Otacon's.
He's Otacon's friend, too?
It's because of the professor that Otacon has been able to come up with some of his inventions.
All right. What are the details?
So you'll do it. Great.
I'm not against some monkey catching, but I'd rather be collecting pants.
Snake, the monkeys have fled into the jungle. When you find them, knock them out for capture.
Right. I'm not going to be able to grab them when they're jumping all around the place.
Right. When you've grabbed all the monkeys, your mission is complete.
Gotcha. Commencing Operation Ape Snake.
Snake, when you capture a monkey, yell out the password. With the password, a warp device will activate.
Understood.
Good. I'm counting on you, Snake.
So this is a fun little kind of crossover between Metal Gear and Ape Escape. I don't have any idea how this came about.
3.
Although it works
1.
better than you'd think.
Start.
Like the two franchises fit together way better than you'd really think. It has obviously a lot of the same elements of gameplay that Snake Eater does just through the normal game, but you know, it adds a bunch of new elements, and it doesn't work exactly the same way. Obviously, a big part of the game is stealth, and it is best if you go through these missions without getting seen by any of the monkeys. It's not really imperative that you stay completely stealthy. This monkey up here, you want to shoot him while he's away from the cliff, because otherwise he will tumble down the cliff and he's going to be much harder to get. I mean, he'll be easy to get, but he'll probably trigger 2 other monkeys in his path. So, if you get spotted by a monkey, Basically, the worst thing that'll happen is that the monkey will kind of be alerted, it'll start to kind of attack you, but it'll just kind of run off and go to a different area, but eventually it'll reset its pattern and go back to where it originally was. So it's not really a big deal. It doesn't alert every single other monkey in the area. Really, if you get spotted by one monkey, the one monkey that saw you is really the only one that's going to react to that. So it doesn't quite use the exact same rules that, you know, that Snake Eater does, but I still like to try and do these stealthily. Some of these missions are actually quite tricky.
Gotcha! All done! Yes!
Also, David Hayter is wonderful in this part. He does such a good job of making Snake sound like very joyful, and it's so silly. You can't not love this. Like, you just gotta respect this. It's also weird because the implication is that this is not Big Boss.
2, 1.
This is Solid
Start.
Snake, because we talked in the beginning to Colonel Campbell, who was not really in Snake Eater, except for, you know, the Snake, you've created a time paradox. You know, they mention Otacon, and it's a little weird. I don't know why you know, the opening cutscene wasn't Zero talking to Naked Snake, but whatever. The opening ones are mainly just kind of getting you used to how these are played. The ones after the first two, I would say, are where they start to get like really tricky. But I would say, actually, the first two are kind of difficult. Mostly because the apes blend into these environments a lot better than they do in, like, other environments. Like, you can see here that really wasn't that big of a deal that ape saw me. They also hide them farther up, I think, in these levels. Like, they're hidden in trees, they're hidden kind of in these little mountainous regions. So these levels are kind of some of the more tricky ones, even if they are the intro, you know, tutorial levels. So I think it's a fun little thing to experience. And once you beat these, you do unlock a couple of items. You unlock I believe you unlock, it's been such a long time, but I think it's the camo that you're wearing in this, which is the banana camo. And you also unlock a monkey mask, where it's one of these guys' faces, like on a Halloween mask, basically. Which is quite fun. I don't remember what use they have in the game. Or if they are basically just joke items, which I think they are. See, like this guy, he might be one of the trickier monkeys in the entire minigame, because he is very hard to spot.
Gotcha! All done! Yes!
Ape Escape was always one of those series that I was always very interested in. I always thought looked really fun, but I didn't grow up with a PlayStation 1, so I never played it, but I always wanted to go back and experience it. So I do think it's very funny that my only true experience with Ape Escape is through Metal Gear Solid 3, which feels fitting for me personally.
Start!
This is one of the trickier ones. When I was practicing this, because I practiced these a bunch and then I recorded them, because I want to, you know, make it look like I somewhat know what I'm doing in this game. This was one of the ones that I had to keep practicing until I got it right. This area over here where all the monkeys are dancing is very, very difficult. You have to do it basically perfectly, otherwise they're all gonna scatter and run away. Actually, since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been replaying all of the Metal Gear games. like, literally the first week of the pandemic, I played through Metal Gear Solid 1. And I just wrapped up my revisit of Snake Eater, and I'm now on Metal Gear Solid 4. So I've been really enjoying replaying the series, which is kind of where these videos are coming from, of me kind of going to do the bonus missions. I think I'm going to be doing this, and I think I might do something in Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. There's the Snake Tails, and there's also the skateboarding minigame, so I don't know, I might be one of those two. Now, speaking of the skateboarding minigame, and also this that we are playing right now, these are not available in the HD collections. The skate one, I don't quite understand why they didn't put that one on there. This one I can understand way more, because Sony wouldn't want Microsoft to get Ape Escape content. That wouldn't make sense. That's not a Microsoft franchise, and I don't think Microsoft would allow Sony to have extra content in the HD collection, so I would have to imagine that's why this is not included in the HD collection. So the only way to play this is on the PS2 through Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. Sorry, Metal Gear Solid 3 Substance. Which is kind of unfortunate, because, you know, I still think this game holds up really well. It looks great. It runs very poorly. It runs somewhere between like 20 and 30 frames at a time. Sometimes way lower. And the HD collection runs much more consistently. So it would be nice to see this in high def, but you know, what are you gonna do? There's nothing that can be done about that.
Gotcha. All done. Yes.
Yes. I miss when games could just have fun little things like this in them. Like, when's the last time anything like this was in a game? Like, genuinely. I really wish that those were voice acted. So I did have to redo this one, which is why you're seeing this open twice. That intro with the Metal Gear, only plays the first time, I think, that you encounter it, so I just put that in there because there's no way I'm not showing that.
2, 1, start!
You could see there, like, as I was starting the mission, that was absolutely whack how bad the frame rate was there. In revisiting Metal Gear Solid 4, I remember, like, that game not running very well. And I was like, oh man, should I even go back to it? I love the game so much, and I don't want to think less of it now that I'm, like, more critical of a game with a bad frame rate. But honestly, the game runs fine for the most part. There are some times in that game where it runs at, like, a really nice 60 frames a second. It's not often, but it does happen. But for the most part, it's like 30, and it's pretty consistently fine. But Konami really needs to fire every single person that works there and get people who actually care about video games. And someone needs to rescue Metal Gear Solid 4 from the PlayStation 3. That needs a remaster. Now, this guy, no matter what, I feel like always sees me. So if you can't shoot him right away, best bet, throw another stun grenade, and you'll knock him out and another monkey that's right next to him. So that's probably the best thing you could do at that point.
You're mine.
They block off a lot of these areas. I think it would have been interesting to see if you had to explore every single little nook and cranny. Also, this was wild. I was really scared here. I've never seen this happen before, where the monkey was going up the ladder as I was too. I thought I was going to run into him. That was insane. But, yeah. Because there's a bunch of, like, guard shacks and everything in this area. Would have been interesting if you had to search every single little area. It's also really funny, like, in this game, in Snake Eater, if you, like, shoot a guard, and they don't immediately go down, like, if you don't immediately get a headshot on them, they kind of freak out and are like, oh, I'm under attack. But the monkeys are just like, huh, something just hit me. That's weird. Anyway, moving on. Which I think is kind of funny. Oh, what happened with that guy? Yeah, I think this is very fun. This is one of my favorite bonus games, bonus modes that the series has to offer. There's a lot of great little bonus things, like Metal Gear Solid 1 has the VR missions, which are great. Metal Gear Solid 2 has a bunch. But I think this one might be, like, my most favorite, I would have to say. It's just so weird and out there, and it's got so much character and personality just, you know, for itself. I think it's quite charming. And as I said, I was always interested in Ape Escape. And I've always wanted to experience one of those games, and this is the closest I've come. I had in grade school, I sat next to someone who would always talk to me about Ape Escape. She actually would, like, bring in the strategy guide, and she would show me, like, oh, these are the different kinds of monkeys in this game, and this is how you catch them. And I was like, wow, that game looks cool. So I actually forgot about this guy in the very beginning of the level. But yeah, I just always had some sort of a passing curiosity about this series. I think it would have been cool if they had made, like, one extra mission where you actually had to take down a Metal Gear, like, ape. Because as it stands here, all you really have to do is just shoot the monkey off of it. And just, like, make sure you don't really go in front of its line of sight.
Gotcha. All done.
But I think it would have been fun if one of these was just a boss battle. Like, you have to fight, like, the Shagohod or Metal Gear Rex, but he looks like a monkey. This one was the hardest one. This one I had to practice over and over and over again. It's this beginning room right here is probably the hardest part of all of Snake vs. Monkey. So you get these two guys here, and then you have to walk back up to them before they get up. This guy, unavoidable. You cannot not be seen by this guy. I tried every single possible way to get through that lobby without getting seen by that guy. I tried throwing 2 different stun grenades in there to try and hit him too. I couldn't do it. It is literally impossible to not get spotted by that monkey. So, yeah, you really just kind of have to wing it. You have to hope that you're fast enough that he doesn't, you know, he doesn't run away and cause more trouble. And the other thing that I tried, that I kept trying to do, was shoot the 2, and then shoot the guy from a distance, and knock him out. But by the time I knocked him out, the other apes got up, and were in alert, and tried running away. So, it's very difficult stuff, getting that one guy. Also, the easy gun is great. I love the easy gun. Just got, like, a weird-looking design to it. Of course, as soon as I start aiming at him, he just runs away. And if I'm not mistaken, this is like the slowest moving monkey in the entire game. I don't think I've ever actually bothered unlocking the easy gun in the main game. Because I think you unlock it by just, I think you have to collect every single type of animal. Or maybe it's every single type of food? What were you looking at? Pretty girl. That monkey was just like T-posing in the square. I don't know quite what that was about. It's so nice that they tumble down. That would have been a real pain if you had to get up there somehow.
You're mine.
You're mine. He's got such great little one-liners in this game. You're mine. I want some more. That's nasty. David Hayter was the king of just exclamations, just saying things. Kiefer Sutherland could never. I'd rather be collecting pants. I have no idea what that means. Like that might be a gameplay mechanic in Ape Escape, but I don't know. The fact that I don't know means a lot of that opening codec is probably much funnier to me than it would be if I had context. I'd rather be collecting pants. What does that mean, Snake? Yeah. What's that monkey doing on the toilet? No more monkey business. Enough's enough. It would have been cool if this was reworked into the 3DS version of Snake Eater, where you had to collect toads instead of apes or monkeys. Because they replaced all the Kiritones with Yoshi in that version. Why not? Just take it another step further. This guy's kind of fun. I've never been seen by this guy. I'm sure you can if you just, like, run out there.
Gotcha!
Gotcha!
All done! Yes!
I love that he ends it right in front of the poster. That's so good. This, I would say, is the last normal mission of the game, and I'll tell you what I mean by that when we get to the actual last level. And then we have the Apohog.
3.
I don't know. The
2,
Shago.
Start.
Shago Ape? I don't know. I got nothing. This whole mission is just Snake right-clicking NFTs.
You're mine.
And saving as. You don't really have to worry about getting hurt. I've never died. I'm sure you can, like, fall off a cliff or something. But, you know, Snake doesn't even have a health bar. There's no real ammo. There's no rations. So I've never had it where Snake falls down and just dies. So I wouldn't really worry about that fall. You can just kind of fly all over the area here. So I find the best way to complete this level is to actually activate the alert. It's like an area-wide alert if you go in front of the Shago Hod. It alerts all the apes and it kind of brings them all into one little square and disrupts them. There's only one ape that I would say that's useful for doing. So we're gonna get the rest of these normally and then that guy on his own. This part's also kind of scary. This is the only, like, really tricky part of this entire level, I would say, is trying to throw that stun grenade up there, hope that you hit them, and then have enough time to climb up the ladder to collect them. Because it's a very small window of time, surprisingly, to pick up the apes. Now, you can see that guy, there's an ape up there up top. Right to Snake's left right now. There's also a guy in there. I love that so much work went into this. This is just a re-release of this game with, you know, some extra content. It's got a better camera than the original version. And a new game mode that could have just been slapped together. But there's, like, so much work went into it. Different character models. There's an entirely new Metal Gear that has just, it's designed like an ape. Like, it's great. There's animations for the apes where they're, like, crawling around like Snake. It's really wonderful stuff. A lot of work went into this. So now we're gonna trigger the alert, because there's one guy who's, like, up... You just saw him drop down. He's up on scaffolding up there. There is, as far as I'm aware, no other way to get him down. If you shoot him, he stays exactly where he's at. I don't think he can come tumbling down. So, it's kind of strange. I was having a real struggle with this here. And then the last guy, sometimes the ape, after the alert, can be found up on those rails up there, kind of like walking along them. And I thought maybe he'd still be up there, but way too much time had passed after the alert. So the only way to really get him is to just go by here, which will trigger the alert anyway. So I'm not good enough at this game. Maybe there's another way that I just wasn't even thinking about, but all the times that I practiced this, I could not, in fact, find a way to get this ape without triggering the alert.
All done.
So there you go. That's the last real mission of the game. The Apes of Wrath. This is the last level of Snake vs. Monkey, and it is a complete nightmare. I feel like this is just... It's a mess. Every single time I play this level, it is a complete and utter disaster. It, especially probably on the PS2 version, isn't very clear where the monkeys are. So I'm just like walking into monkeys left and right, setting off alerts, setting off big groups of apes to run away and go somewhere else. So I don't really have a unified strategy for this level other than just hope for the best, really. So this was the only one that I didn't really practice, because I knew that this is a mess, and I remembered from the, you know, whenever the last time that I played this game, that this is a complete nightmare. The only real saving grace here are the thermal goggles. You can use those to kind of get a better look at where the apes are. The worst part is when you knock an ape out and they fall into the, into the grass. Because sometimes I've found that you just can't find them. Like, they blend way too well into the grass. It's also really funny that this is one of the most emotional, poignant scenes in any Metal Gear Solid game, any video game, period. You know, when you fight the boss and then have to kill her. And now the map is being reused for an Ape Escape crossover. That's so good. That is the most quintessential Metal Gear Solid thing I've ever seen. And we love it, folks, don't we? So yeah, I don't think I did too terrible on this one. This was the one that I was the most apprehensive about, actually being able to complete in a reasonable fashion. You know, I don't want to just wing it and have, a really bad, messy run. But this was the closest I came to just being, not doing a very good job. Also, some of the new music in this, I don't think all these tracks are new, but some of them are. The beginning jingle is really great. I love it. Again, a lot of work went into this, when this really could have just been slapped together, and I love how much work was really done here. So we got one last monkey to deal with. We got this guy up here. Come on down, pal. Gotcha.
All done.
So that is the end of Snake vs. Monkey. I think it's a really fun little side thing. This might be a one-off video, or it might be the beginning of another little mini Metal Gear Solid minigame series. So thank you for watching.